guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write that down.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil. Well, remember that then.
Yep, welcome in to the OG edition of Write That Down, where we put statistics next to our predictions like absolute idiots and put our careers and credibility in jeopardy. It's Write That Down on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. And a little teaser here shortly, in probably like a minute, we're going to give you the oldest prediction still on the board coming off the board this week. Thanks to a couple listeners who sent in. We have sleuths out there that say, hey, what about this one over here? Before we do that, Judd, let's tell the audience about Finch Home Solutions, our favorite van roaming around the Twin Cities, helping people with their electrical systems, their hot tubs, and more.
Declan, thank you. If that van's
Just go with the read, Judd. Just go with the read.
if that van's, I know you guys have set the precedent of the horn, and now I'm used to it. Phil pulls his end of the weight, and now you didn't, and now everybody has. And what does that mean? That means when that van pulls in front of your house, pulls up in front of your house, you know what? Your electrical issues inside that house are a thing of the past. Everything is fixed. It could be rewired in your entire home. It could be something as small as an outlet being replaced. It could be great news. It could be that you and the wife have decided to get a hot tub. You know, it's getting cold outside. You love those hot tubs. And you're going to get a hot tub, but guess what? You need a lot of electrical work done for that, right? Well, Finch Home Solutions, Cody and his team, they are fast, they're efficient, they're courteous, and they are big Vikings fans. What more could you want? Just give them a call, Finch Home Solutions, 612-357-2604, or go to their website, finchhomesolutions.com. Redone, up to date. It's absolutely fantastic, easy to navigate. finchhomesolutions.com.
Amen. Okay, let's get to the. Well, here's how it works. In case you're new here, 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. On the football edition on Purple Daily, it's touchdowns and completion percentage. And if you want to be like Josh and participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send a message through the Score North app. Just send it to Declan. We'll get you scheduled for some time here in the coming week. So, Judd, we'll start with you. We had a prediction that you made it was either in 2015 or 2016, according to my archives. You said, this is on our old radio show, 1500 ESPN. It was like the second or third year of our daily 4-hour radio show, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Stop.
Da-da-dum.
Just stop.
For a
Again,
sports update on
cold
1500 ESPN.
My palms are sweating. Stop.
You said Arizona State would join the Big Ten Hockey Conference, but you left it open-ended because we weren't thinking about the integrity of the game or whatever.
We didn't think we'd still be around by now.
No, but here we are, still being idiots on microphones. You said Arizona State would join the Big Ten Hockey Conference, and so it was open-ended. They were just kind of sitting there, but they have joined the NCHC?
Yeah, they're going to, yes, which I had forgotten, or yes, they're going to join. I think they are members next season.
Okay.
But anyway, yes, it's wrong.
And so it is, now you can make a case that, well, what if they leave that conference? We've kind of made the rule that once the next thing happens, it comes off the board. So, whoa, it's way louder than I thought it was going to be. So you were wrong, finally, after 8 years of this being on the board.
Admit you're wrong. I just admitted for eight years I've been wrong with this one.
But you did have a couple correct Ohtani predictions. You said Shohei Ohtani will have agreed to terms by this week's Write That Down, and he did. And you said long ago that his next team would be the Dodgers, which I know I didn't put it on the screen here, but I think that's a really specific. Now there's only like 30 teams didn't have access to him, and the Dodgers were probably the favorites. But I think identifying the exact team. And Declan, you tell me if you want to fight this. I think that's a home run for Judd.
Do we have the data when he made it?
I'm just trying to go back and find it here.
If that's available, that'd be
the only. It was within the last 12 months.
Okay, I mean, if it was in the last 12 months, then yes, I think it's a home run.
Yeah, because
if it was like 2 weeks
it was like
ago,
in May.
Then I would say no.
May.
Okay, yeah. If he said in season, then by all means, yeah.
Okay.
Home run.
So Judd, congratulations.
Thank you.
You can circle the bases.
I'm
just
trying
like
on
Shohei.
the bases.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I had a bad week. I said the two French 7-footers would combine for at least 6 blocks in their matchup last Wednesday. Gobert and Wemby, they did not. I don't think Wemby had a block. Loser. I said Anthony Edwards in his first game back from injury would score at least 35 points. He came nowhere near scoring 35 points. And I thought there'd be a dark horse team. The Mariners have a history of being splashy sometimes. You know, the Robinson Cano that one time.
Yep.
Obviously, they have Japanese lineage with a couple different players, Ichiro being number one. But I said that Ohtani would sign with the Mariners, and obviously that did not happen. All right, listeners had one thing come off the board. John's family joined us last week and said Josh Dobbs will start, but Nick Mullins will finish the game.
Yeah, this was great.
That's a home run.
Very nice.
Specific right there. Nice job, John and his family.
Yes.
Declan, you said this is a home run too. The Wild will post a shutout by next week's Write That Down. So a couple nights ago, they shut out the Kraken on the road, right? 2-rip, I want to say. And you said the Wild and Wolves would combine for at least 5 wins by this week's Write That Down.
4?
It was 3 actually. Oh yeah, because the Wolves actually lost on Monday. But
yeah.
Oh, it's 3. Okay.
So, but still a pretty good week there. Judd, by the way, you have 9 home runs here. I did not give you credit in the graphics. So 318 average and 9 home runs. But the listeners continue to climb here. So Judd's at 318, listeners at 297, Declan at 285. I'm at 260. Declan and Judd are, well, no, Judd has 9 home runs. Listeners have 10. I have 10. So we lead the home run category. Judd with 9, listeners, or Declan with 8. Judd celebrating his 300th career hit this week. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've made it this far.
Ever participant to get to 300 career hits and write that down. Wow.
A lot of naysayers surprised I'm still here, surprised I'm still at the plate. Some think I should be gone, but you know what? Can't get rid of me.
You know, we have this data goes back to 2018, the statistics that we started making predictions in like 2015 or 16, but we didn't actually start keeping track of the stats until later on. And so I do have, I think I have Judd's first ever hit.
What?
Or at least if you go back,
God, it's gonna be emotional.
Here's what it is. I have like chronologically, I have the first hit that you like the first prediction chronologically that became a hit for you.
Okay. All right.
Was tracked in 2018. The prediction was made like 8 years ago. It was Johnny Manziel will not be in the NFL for the start of the 2016 season, and he will join the CFL next. So it was a home run because he did join the CFL. He was with the Montreal Alouettes or something.
Wow.
Yep, he was.
That is very emotional. That's like a scoreboard tribute you just did.
And then I'll give you the next 2 as well. Baseball will limit trips to the mound by coaches or managers by 2018. You did.
This is great.
And Karl Anthony Towns will be an all-star this season, whatever year that was.
I got to doff my cap to the crowd. Thank you.
So, wow, just a trip down memory lane there for Judd. Congratulations. Let's get our guest listener predictor, Josh, in the house here. This historic day as we celebrate. Judd, we got a Cubs hat. We got a Gophers shirt here. What's your background as a sports fan here, Josh?
Well, I grew up in southern Minnesota. I've always been a fan of all the local teams, but I fell in love with the Cubs exactly the same way Judd did. First got cable at the house, Cubs were on, and when I was that age, I had run of the TV in the afternoon so I could watch the Cubs. Twins were on maybe once or twice a week, and it was in the evening when my parents had run of the TV. Plus, I had an aunt who lived in Chicago at the time, so even though I've had to put up with 30 years of the Twins and Vikings and our other teams not getting anywhere, I can at least say I had the Cubs in 2016 to give me some light.
Yeah,
and
this is exactly.
Those who are waiting, it's worth it when you get it.
This is my Cubs story as well. They've always been my second team, or for the same reason. Like I got to control the TV during the daytime, specifically getting home from school or mid-afternoon. Cubs games usually start at 1:20 or 2:20 on WGN. Harry Carey, Steve Stone. Yeah. And then your parents would watch whatever the hell they want at night. Oh. So family in Chicago, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
the Cubs pre-light. So for me, lights went in '88, I believe. So the Cubs, I started watching the Cubs in '82, and from '82 till they installed lights, it was the greatest soap opera ever. Because every afternoon they were on. It would start with their pregame show. I knew the commercials.
Yeah, you got the leadoff man. Van Halen's Jump, I believe, was the theme song.
Yes.
On the leadoff man. Yes.
Yep.
You're exactly right. That's awesome.
The theme song from the 90s, the WGN Sports had a theme song, and it literally is on loop in my head like multiple times a month, I feel like. It was like a bum ba dum bum bum ba da dum dum.
Harry coming on.
It sounds familiar to me now. Yes.
Yep.
Microphone like this with his scorebook.
Hey, Cubs friends.
Yeah, his favorite part was Brett Zelenik because he couldn't pronounce it forward or backwards.
Backwards. Do you remember when he tried Grudzalonic backwards? He tried to spell his name backwards while on air, and poor Stoney's like, yeah, let's move on.
Oh, yes, man. Burt Blyleven would make fun of names in the 90s, too. Do you guys remember it was an Angels pitcher named Shigetoshi Hasegawa? And you could never make these jokes today in 2023, but he would always butcher, because, they'd throw it to Burt to read the media guide as the pitcher's warming up. And Shigetoshi, he goes, it sounds like something I had for dinner last night. Like, oh, Burt.
Yeah.
Harry Carey, Burt. It's old school guys. All right, let's start with Josh here and go around the room. Josh, Judd, Declan, me. You're first out of the gate here. You're the leadoff man.
Write this down.
All right. Sounds good. So it won't be Bob Dernier, but we'll do it the best we can. So I'm going to do a Judd-style prediction, a Phil-style prediction, and a Declan-style prediction today. They're not about you guys, so you can leave your headphones on. But we're going to start with a Declan-style prediction, which is something that will come off the board very quickly. So the Wild and the Wolves both play tomorrow night. I didn't know which one I wanted to do a prediction about, so I decided to do both. So write this down. In tomorrow night's games, Mike Conley and the Wild's top forward line will combine for at least 10 assists.
Ooh.
And to make this quantifiable, on daily face-off, the Wild's top forward line is Kaprizov, Eriksson, Ek, and Boldy. So those are guys.
Okay.
So those four gentlemen will combine for 10 assists.
Exactly, or at least?
At least.
Okay. Just don't want you to get burned by the parameters here. Yep.
Write this down.
That's very creative. I like that one. All right. Okay. Write this down. Also on the Wild theme. Marc-Andre Fleury will pass Patrick Waugh as the second winningest goaltender in NHL history by January 1st. Just to quantify this, Fleury is at 548 wins. Waugh is at 551, and the Wild have 9 games left before January 1st. But I mean, but Gustafsson is the top goaltender, so I don't know exactly how many starts Flower is going to get, but Flower will pass Waugh as the second winningest goaltender in NHL history by January 1st. In other words, he will get to win 552.
Okay.
Write this down.
See you there. The Flower. Declan?
All right, I'll make a Wild prediction too, and I'm just going to double check that this is the case, because after 3 days off and the Wild's ridiculous scheduling that always happens every single year, they get 3 or 4 days off all the time through the end of the season. And then from March 1st to the end of the year, they will not have more than 1 day off and playing back-to-backs like crazy. It drives me nuts.
Why is that?
So I don't know. I know the X is super busy, but I genuinely do not know why that is the case, and it's very annoying, to be honest, as a Wild fan. So the Wild do indeed have 4 games between now and next week's. Write that down. They'll play tomorrow against the Flames, Saturday against the Canucks, Monday against the Pens, and then Tuesday a back-to-back against the Bruins. So write this down. Kirill Kaprizov will score at least 4 goals by next week's. Write that down. He will score at least 4 total goals by next week's. Write that down.
Okay, write it down.
Write this down.
I'm trying to find a way to quantify this. Timberwolves prediction. I think Tyus Jones is going to find a way home at some point here. So he's wide open, I would assume, to be traded for as an expiring contract on a bad team. Then he's a free agent. Now the Wolves they'd have to figure out how to get him in free agency because they're over the cap. But I'm just going to say this. Write this down. Tyus Jones will be a Timberwolf by the first game of the 2024-25 season. So by the first game of next season, I think they should trade for him this year. Just have somebody reliable who can shoot some threes, playing 20, 25 minutes behind Mike Conley. Maybe a successor to Mike Conley.
Write this down.
Okay. So write it down. Back to Josh for your second prediction.
All right. So our second prediction is going to be a Phil-style prediction. This is one where I say I want this to be a home run, and I will beef it up a little bit if I have to. Perfect. I know a lot of listeners like to try to hit the ball all the way to Cincinnati. I don't need to do that. Fourth row in the left field bleachers is fine with me. So the Vikings have 4 games left in the regular season. Write this down. In at least one of them, they will score exactly 17 points.
Okay. I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
It's super specific. Yes. Yeah. Have they done that in a game yet this year?
I don't. I remember when I checked in to get into this, my original prediction was going to be 27. That's how things have been going lately for the Vikings.
Yeah. And they did score exactly 17 in a loss to the Buccaneers in the first game. They scored exactly 27 against the Saints in a win 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
They've had how many different unique scores? They've scored 24 twice. They've scored 20 twice. Yeah, this is specific. There's only 4 games left.
Yeah, when I was playing at home a couple of years ago, I had this kind of prediction in my head, and I actually nailed 3 straight scores. So
what?
I was hoping, I think it was in 2021. It was Packers, Ravens, and Chargers games. I somehow nailed the Vikings score on all 3 of them. So if I can have just a fraction of that level of luck, I should be fine here.
I love it. Okay, over to Judd here.
Write this down.
All right. Staying on the Wild theme, the Wild will be in a playoff spot by January 15th.
Oh, man.
So they've been out of a playoff spot for obviously the majority of the season. And it's tough because there's so many points available on a nightly basis. But I think they will be in a playoff spot by January 15th. Write that down.
Okay. What's the contract situation of Hines? Is it a multi-year deal?
Multi-year contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably 3 years.
Yeah, I feel like he negotiated himself into. I know you take it if it's offered to you, but if he takes this team from where they were to the playoffs, I'd go back to old Craigie boy and say, old Billy, and say, hey, let's redo this contract. I just took a top 5 draft pick team and brought him to the playoffs.
Write this down.
That's probably smart, but yes, he is in good shape. So January 15th, boys, top 8.
Okay, Declan.
All right, write this down. He's going to do this again. I think he's already done it once, maybe twice. Phil, I might have to look this up for me.
Should I look it up for you? Okay.
Rudy Gobert will grab 20 or more boards again in a game by the end of the month.
No!
Did I snipe it?
I was going to say tomorrow night.
You're going to say tomorrow night.
Well, that's
He did it. He's done it 3 times this year. Yeah.
3 times. So I'm gonna quantify it just for the next 2 weeks for the end of the month. So Rudy Gobert will grab 20 or more rebounds one more time in the month of December. Okay. At least one more time in the month of December.
Yeah, he's done. It's funny. He's done it 3 times, including back-to-back before their last game against the Spurs and the Grizzlies, who were 2 of the worst teams in the league. And then he grabbed 21 against a Zion-less Pelicans team in early November. But yeah, he's been pretty active. Okay.
The way you threw your pen or pencil, I thought you might come through the screen and beat Declan up.
No,
awesome.
Not like Rudy and Kyle Anderson. Okay, I'm going to pivot to this one. Pivot. Against the Mavericks. I think Rudy's going to bounce back. He had a really bad game. He had like 8 and 8, some foul trouble the other night. Just wasn't a quintessential Rudy game. So he is averaging on the season 13 points, 12 rebounds, I'm rounding up, and 2 blocks. So you add those up, he's averaging 27 points, rebounds, blocks per game. He's going to go over that against the Mavericks. I'm trying to decide how aggressive to get here. What's the most he's had? Looks like he had 42 combined against the Grizzlies. I'm going to say, is this a home run? You guys tell me. He's averaging 27 points, rebounds, blocks, okay? I'm going to say 35. He'll have 35 combined points, rebounds, blocks. So you'd have to go for like 15 and 20 or like 15, 18 and 2 blocks. 14, 18 and 3 blocks, something like that. So he's going to go
Against the Mavs.
Against the Mavericks. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's going from 27 combined points, rebounds, blocks to 35.
Yeah, if you're picking the game, yeah. I'd say it is home
against the Mavericks. He's going to be a beast. Okay, let's go back up to Josh here for his third and final prediction.
All right, well, it's a wonderful happenstance that you had that long-term prediction that finally came off the board, because this Judd-style prediction is one that's going to stay on the board for a little while, not nearly as long as that one. But this one's about Justin Fields. Because when he was drafted by the Bears, there was a lot of hype around the guy. I personally didn't see it because I thought there were too many omens working against him. Like, if you think about it, in the last 50 years, who are the top 3 quarterbacks that the Bears have tried to develop? Who are the top 3 quarterbacks that came out of Ohio State in the last 50 years? And why is Mike Tomczak on both of those lists? These are the sorts of things that are working against him. So write this down. By the end of the 2024 regular/postseason, Justin Fields will start a game for a team other than the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the league won't give up on him, but I think the Bears will. And as an unofficial, unquantifiable prediction, bonus prediction, whichever decision the Bears make will be wrong because Bears.
Yes. Bears
100%.
quarterbacks in particular. I can't believe you sold Art Schlichter short. Come on. He was a great quarterback. It just tried to gamble on his games.
I still remember Bobby Yates having him on his morning show there once a week, if I recall correctly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Art.
Old school, man. Old school radio and quarterback there. Josh, this is great. Your predictions are entertaining. They're going across the different personalities here and matching our style is very creative. Since you've got this life-changing platform right now, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get to this point?
Yeah, now neither of my parents are huge sports fans. My dad might end up listening to this, so hi, Dad, if you're listening. Otherwise, with apologies to my Uncle Brian and my Aunt Jill, I'm going to throw a shout out to my Aunt Marcia. She was the aunt who lived in Chicago that I mentioned earlier. She took me to my first Cubs game on August 4th, 1984. It was a 4-1 victory over the Expos, thanks in part to a 2-run home run by Jody Davis.
Jody Davis. Let's
Jody,
remember that for Immaculate
Jody
Grid.
Davis.
The
Carrie
king of
used to have a
Louisville.
great song. Exactly right. Exactly right. And you saw the Expos. I don't remember if oh, you know what? I think I did see them. I think they played an exhibition game here at the Metrodome at one point. The Expos, man, those jerseys, you can't beat those jerseys.
Because you're only shot in interleague. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the pitching matchup in that Eckersley was the winning pitcher for the Cubs, and Dan Schatzeder, a future Twin on the 87 team, was the loser.
Wow.
Former
So
Tiger.
there's a really good Immaculate Grid guy if you get a Twins Expos, Dan Schatzeder.
That's right. And X started that game, correct?
Yep,
He was still
Eckersley was
starter.
the starter. Yeah, the Cubs traded him away, and then La Russa made him a closer with the A's. But
That's right.
yeah, and I was also surprised you didn't come up with Al Newman for Twins and Expos as well. He was a wonderful.
That's a good one. Pete McCannon, though. Pete McCannon.
Yeah,
you can't
that
beat
one's
Pete
hard
McCannon.
to top.
I
Absolutely.
really love Pete McCannon.
Roberto Kelly is another great name to use. He hopped around the league.
I used Roberto Kelly 2 weekends ago. The Saturday grids are great because you get like all these statistical categories. You can go really low. And I used him as a Twin Yankee. Or no, I used him as a Yankee who hit 300 in a season because he had a couple big seasons, Roberto Kelly.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. Everybody was willing to trade for him, but then everybody was willing to trade him away too.
Yeah.
So, and I've got 2 cousins in the local sports community. I'll also throw a quick shout out to. One of them is intrepid sideline reporter Allie Mosley on Channel 45. She just had her second child a couple months ago, so I haven't seen her since then. So congratulations to her on that. And Judd, I don't know if this fellow overlapped with you at the Star Tribune at all. Sports editor Joe Christensen.
Oh, yeah.
Joe C.
Yep.
Joe C. He covered the Twins beat when I covered the Twins beat. So Joe C. and I had many dinners together at Turkey.
Yeah, he was
Field.
covering the Orioles
Awesome
when
guy.
he and I became related. His dad married my aunt, so we've been cousins for a while now. But
Cool.
yeah, other than that, it's just been a pleasure to join you guys. I go for long walks during the summer, and I like to have you guys on in the background. Just kind of keeps the legs moving. So I look forward to being.
That's
on
our new
again.
slogan. Hey, Mackey and Judd, we'll keep your legs moving.
Keep the legs
baby.
moving.
Yeah,
Awesome. Josh, thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
you
you,
coming
guys.
on. Let's do it again sometime, all right?
sounds great.
See ya.
All right. Anyone who makes a Jody Davis reference.
I don't
We're
know.
looking for Cub All-Stars, by the way. Keep Jody Davis in mind.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever seen Judd light up as much as I ever have before on an episode with Josh giving him Cubs references of players and random
The 80s.
That was hilarious watching
The
Judd just
80s
light
were
up.
great.
80s Cubs, man.
Leon
And
the Bull
80s
Durham at
80s
first.
baseball, period. Yeah.
Boa at shortstop. Sandberg. Oh, man. I love
Sandberg.
that.
Gary Matthews.
Ron Say at third. Yeah, the Sarge in left field.
Yep.
Bobby Dernier in center. Oh God, that was great. Keith Moreland.
You could sit around the bar at Park Tavern and just throw names, 80s baseball player names out. That's the official sports bar of Judd Zulgad, the sports dad.
And guess what? If you're a Cubs fan, you can also watch the Cubs. In fact, you can watch any game that you want. Park Tavern, located in my neck of the woods here in St. Louis Park, is the place to catch games. It's the place to bowl. It's the place to get great beer and food. It's the place to have a party. And I'm not talking a small one. I'm talking like a company outing, 60 people. Guess what? Park Tavern can accommodate you. 952-929-6810. Park Tavern is your headquarters for fun. And it is a great place to go. Check them out, parktavern.net. Again, in St. Louis Park, Louisiana Avenue South, parktavern.net. Check out their redesigned website. It's absolutely outstanding. All the information that you could want. And of course, once you get there, tweet us a picture at @JZolgad, @ScoreNorth, and tell them Sports Dad sent you.
Yes, you could also send us a selfie from Summit Orthopedics if you're out there trying to take care of some pain, back pain, neck, whatever it is. Summit Orthopedics is here to help you. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments. If you're really hurting, they also offer walk-in orthopedic urgent care 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 25 locations in the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota. Learn more at summitortho.com. Okay, final trip around the room, Judd.
All right, I'm going to give you write that down. I don't think I've ever done this before because it's in progress, and I'm actually going to take the L. So I'm gonna start off from a disadvantage, but I think it's worth trying. The Timberwolves will have a winning record during this tough 16-game stretch, starting with a loss on Monday to the Pelicans. So I'm 0-1.
You'll own it. You'll own the loss.
I'll own that loss. I'll take that loss, and I will bank on the fact that when the 16-game stretch that start on Monday against all, I think, playoff teams, Phil, or at least teams with winning records, when it's done, the Timberwolves will have a winning record during the stretch.
Okay. Yep. I have this in the spreadsheet too, Phil, just for tracking of 0-1 as of December 11th, and they have a winning record over the 16-game stretch.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Yep. Okay. Over to Declan for his final prediction.
Write this down.
All right, I'm going to make a WWE prediction. Excellent promos this week from CM Punk. Just incredible stuff. Seth Rollins, too, went kind of a little bit more organic. It's been great. Judd, you're missing out on some just phenomenal
We're entering
promo work.
a peak. We're in a very peak era of WWE.
So is Vince out now?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Again?
great. And it's better than
he
it's been.
came back in, right?
Yeah, but he's
was
gone
out?
again. He's gone now. Triple H, Paul Levesque.
I would
Trips.
say the last good run they had was around this time, going into the 2018 going into 2019 when Becky highlighted wrestling. That was probably the last time WWE felt this good.
Triple
H,
H,
a long
man.
time.
Yeah.
How did they get
King of
Vince
Kings.
out this time?
Well, the parent company of UFC bought the WWE, and I think it's Endeavor, right?
Endeavor, yeah.
They bought the WWE, and so Vince made bank, and then Vince stays on as like a special projects advisor guy. So part of the condition of buying WWE, I'm sure Vince said, I want to be involved. I want to be involved, right? And they're like, no, actually, you're almost 80 and a hazard to our image, so we're going to put you on. They're he's like helping negotiate TV deals or something. So he's not involved in the programming anymore. The cerebral assassin is Triple H.
Oh God, it's been great.
Cerebral assassin.
The game. So write this down. I'm actually going to go on the women's Royal Rumble side because I have been seeing the juicy rumors on this part of it. Obviously, Punk declared for the Royal Rumble. So write this down. AJ Lee, his wife, will return to the women's Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
So AJ Lee will participate in the women's Royal Rumble is my official
It's been
prediction.
10 years since she's been part of the WWE.
Write this down.
You know what? I mean, it is a wrestling prediction. I could be talked into that being a home run, unless there's reports out there. We can negotiate this. Here's my final prediction for you guys. People are nervous that Mike Tomlin's Steelers. Mike Tomlin has never had a below 500 season as Steelers head coach, which is incredible. Almost 2 decades, no below 500 seasons. They've lost back-to-back games to the Cardinals and the Patriots, and now they're 7-6. So they have to go 2-2 over their final 4 games after losing to 2 of the worst teams in the league. Write this down. Mike Tomlin Steelers will finish above 500. They will rebound in these last 4 games.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they will win at least the 2 games needed to finish above 500. I have faith in Mike Tomlin.
So he's back?
Write it down. What do you mean?
Tomlin's back because there's been
back like next year or back?
Yeah, back next year. There's been talk that this might be it possibly for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh.
Maybe.
They don't fire coaches, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm just predicting that he is going to find a way to get this team to 9-8.
I was asking off the record. I wasn't trying to trick you. I was just saying if he does that, then I would guess he's probably back.
Yep. I don't know why you'd fire
Don't take
Mike
that
Tomlin.
as an insult to you. Like I wasn't trying to trip you up. This show started contentious, and it feels like it's been contentious. So I just want to,
This show didn't start contentious. Purple Daily started contentious.
Oh, that was
because you're trying to pull fast ones in your predictions. But.
Well, and then you followed me up with the same thing. I mean, it's fine. Three bodies doing a show together.
It is. Just kicking it around. That's a wrap on these predictions here. Find the Purple Daily versions too, the contentious Purple Daily predictions if you haven't already.
Got ugly.
Check those out. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us here. Tomorrow, it's a Reckless Speculation Thursday. We'll bring Doogie back in the mix. Purple Daily every day leading through infinity. So check us out, scorenorth.com and Judd's Hockey Show, Flagrant Howls. We got you covered here this winter.